Hi, I'm Nancy, and I'm here to read to you today from Access to Power, a radical approach for changing your life. This is from the Getting Unstuck chapter, the chapter on the pig fight, and this section is called Label the Pig. When we're talking about labeling these pig messages, one of the things that we're really looking for is the cultivation of the wise adult consciousness via our ability to observe ourselves. And the labeling functions as a way of getting some distance on our experience. So when we're labeling something successfully, we're able to analyze and see what's happening. And that distance, that observing, that analyzing, that labeling helps us gain power over our experience so that we can start to change and make choices to change. So when we're in our experience and we can't see our experience, we don't have any distance on it, we don't have any observing capabilities, um, then it's kind of like being inside of a wave. We're just carried along. But when we're observing, we're actually up. We're like in a boat or on a surfboard. We're above the experience and observing it, and we can start to have more control over it. So that's what we're looking for cultivating when we start to label things. And the labeling, just to remind you, we have the 7 pig labels that we've identified previously: the deserve to die, weak, sick, ill, stupid, crazy, lazy, ugly, and bad. So we have those 7 messages. Those messages, we can also label our pig other ways. It's just helpful to have categories that we can start to identify to help us understand what's happening so that we can get underneath it. Because one of the big deceptions of pig is that it's useful. Once we've normalized and nurtured our experience, it can be really useful to label or categorize the pig messages, as they are often encoded and buried within relatively innocuous thoughts. Heavy and distressing sensations in our body are one way to identify pig-filled thoughts. The act of labeling offers us distance from our experience and sensations, and thus increases our power and choice over our thoughts and feelings. Because each person's pig messages are constructed from a unique combination of family and cultural upbringing, one person may categorize a pig message differently from another person. Labeling the pig messages can be surprising both internally and externally. During my first significant pig fight, I was shocked to discover that most of my thoughts and sensations were loaded with deserve to die pig. I thought deserve to die pig messages were impossible for me because I had never had suicidal thoughts, even at my darkest moments. But as I described my pig messages, Julia Kelleher pointed out that they had the underlying theme of "you suck," and that was deserve to die pig. Once I realized I was dealing with a big pig attack almost all the time, I set about fighting. Within a few months, I'd reduced my thoughts by 70%. It sounds impossible, but it's true. 70% of my thoughts throughout the day were either examining past occurrences to determine what I'd done wrong, and then chastising myself for my misdeeds, or planning the future to avoid screw-ups. When I identified all these thoughts as pig, noticed which thoughts felt heavy and which felt light, and stopped the heavy thoughts, gradually the voices and painful sensations dissipated until one day I realized I was thinking a lot less. My mind was quieter and decisions were easier. This, I said to myself, must be what inner peace feels like. Let's take the example of wanting to quit smoking and see if we can label the pig in our thoughts. We might think we are too weak to quit. This thought might be a combination of crazy pig and weak pig because the weakness is about willpower as well as bodily strength. There is almost certainly deserve to die pig because we probably think we aren't good enough, strong enough, or smart enough to quit. There's probably bad pig as well. Since smoking is bad for our lungs and environment, we might have stupid and crazy pig for smoking when we know it's not good for us. There could be ugly pig for the impact of beauty, such as stained teeth, the smell of cigarette smoke, and dry skin. And we could have lazy pig for not working hard enough at quitting. Wow, that's every single pig message all rolled up in the simple act of lighting a cigarette. As we label our pig, we discover the power that comes from knowledge and insight. Throughout the process, we might continue normalizing and nurturing to help us get through the work. It can feel awful in the middle. We stick with the process and discover hope and progress in repetition. After a few pig fights, we start to see patterns and trends, and fundamentally it comes down to whether a thought is life-affirming or life-draining. When we stop our life-draining thoughts, we find ourselves living a pig-free life. So I know that sounds maybe totally doable, and maybe it sounds completely impossible. The art of dealing with this is a multi-pronged approach. One, we have to actually think that we're on the right track. We have to believe that fighting our pig, that stopping our thoughts, that labeling our pig, that these things are going to help us, and that the pig isn't fundamentally useful to us. We also have to have the ability to practice. We have to be able to just put the reps in over and over and over and over and over again. You're stopping your thoughts, stopping your thoughts, stopping your thoughts. When I would stop a thought, I'd go, stop, 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 until it stopped. And I just do it over and over and over again. And that repetition, eventually my brain just went, I don't want to do this anymore. This is not fun. And stopped doing it. My brain was pretty willing to participate in that process with me. Although it felt like a flood at first. It felt impossible. The belief in the right path helped me stick with the practice. And then once we've got the belief in the right path and sticking with the practice, then the art is just continuing to do it day after day after day until it's proven it's out. The hypothesis is implemented. You've embodied this difference. And then you have to actually fight the pig in the culture that's coming at you. But that's a lot easier once it's not getting colluded with inside of ourselves. I hope this helps.